So moving on to our fourth case study, another inspirational story. Please put your hands together and help me welcome Terry Mole.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much. Very shocked to be up here. Seriously, I would have been the first person to jump through that window a year ago if you'd asked me to be on stage and do a presentation. So, firstly, I just really want to acknowledge the room packed full of talent, hungry, determined people here, and consequently, I'm equally stunned and humbled to be invited onto the stage. So. I'll try not to break down into tears, but yeah, very happy. Everyone's got a unique story. Everyone's journey in property is completely, different, and you can't replicate it. So here's mine. I'll try and make it as snappy as possible. It's an interesting journey for me, obviously, and I hope that you find some value in the experiences that I've had. So cracking on. My name's Terry Mole. I'm age 40, I'm a fiance and father of two. I'm based in Brighton. I'm a small business owner of 17 years clearing houses. So day in, day out, we've been doing that for a long time. I started investing in property in 2009. I bought my first student HMO. It was on the advice of a good friend of mine. I was happily doing what I was doing. I had about 50k in the bank, about what we'd saved. I'd earmarked it for a new car, a couple of holidays, do the flat up, and that will sort that lump out, basically. Basically, just fritter it away. My friend said, you should get into property. So, reluctantly, I bought my first place. I didn't want it. I didn't want, noisy students, headaches, middle of the night, awkward telephone calls, fixing emergency plumbing. So, I viewed it once in 2 years. I went around there once, and that was to buy it. And I never went back in 2 years. 2 years later, the mortgage guy, Robbie, my mate, said, do you fancy pulling 50k out of this property? And seriously, you don't want to know how many pianos and settees you need to bump out of a house to clear 50k. So my interest kind of pricked up, and I needed to accelerate my education. By this time, I'd already done a rent-to-rent one-day course through Simon to investigate the quality of the course. I then got done Accelerator, which was just phenomenal. Three full-on days that completely immersed us, and at that point, the hook had sown. So I committed to get fast-tracking my education, getting specialist knowledge, and to try to replicate the idols that I have in Brighton, who have become very successful through property. So my reason why, personal challenge to redefine myself and my career. My main strategy to do this was simply to carry on doing what I was doing. I had a perfectly good system. It was a student HMO. We'd buy from sourcing agents at great prices, usually off market. So I continued to do that a few times. But in addition to that, my strategy in entering this course, I set myself 3 personal goals. I wanted to be able to see behind the screen. I wanted to understand what a property professional does. I was a property amateur, happy to do so, but I was really interested to see how it worked, the nuts and bolts of it. How do you analyse, how do you stack? So my 3 key goals were to recognise new opportunities for myself, to be able to analyse, stack and self-source them myself, and to have to build enough faith to break into new geographic areas should the area that I was investing in either dry up or contract. So, moving on to the first case study. This is a property in central Brighton. This is a conversion of the top 2 stories, 3-bed maisonette to a 5-bed HMO. This property was sourced through the same sourcing agent. So again, very easy, just give them a call, got some cash, can we invest? It was a great deal, completed in February. 312 purchase price. It was off-market, deceased estate, I believe. 86k we spent on the refurb. It revalues to 450k, 138 uplift, 63% capital recycled. Gross rent, it's a 5-bed in Brighton, gross is 32k, producing just sub 16k net profit per annum after all costs, mortgage, cleaners, it's fully serviced. producing an ROI of 27%. Just before we completed on this, I did Julian Maurice's one-day interior design course, following the introduction within the Mastermind course, and it was one of the best investments I've ever made. Fantastic fun for a start, and so I took inspiration from Julian's course. I took inspiration from Stuart Scott's vast experience and his generosity and his advice. I put them together to produce a new identity for what was otherwise just magnolia whitewashes, very boring. So this property was spiffed out, and we broke the ceiling for Brighton student HMOs as a consequence. The room rates, we broke it only by £5 a room per week for this letting agent, which is the second largest letting agent in Brighton. And we now have a kind of a backlist order for people wanting to get into these properties, and the agent can't wait until we replicate that system, which we have since done across the rest of the portfolio. Second property this year, Wigmore Close. Again, sourced through sourcing agents, very straightforward. This is a 3-bed to a 6-bed HMO, purchase price 308, refurb, so we've got to put a bit of an extension on the back, 110. It reval to 460, 152 uplift, 57% capital recycled, producing a gross rent of circa 40k with a 20k net profit per annum, 26% ROI. Just to kind of, rinse and repeat, basically. The interiors. We put these, we usually kind of steal the living room to create the extra bedroom. So in an effort to kind of return some of the usable living space and make the experience of the tenant more pleasurable, we build these kind of garden terraces on the rear end. It costs about 2-3k. Make it pretty, give them a covered area that they can go outside, have a drink, have a cigarette, whatever they want to do. And we found the feedback from that has been very good. It just basically makes the place a lot more pleasant to live in. Third and final case study, Southall Avenue. So this is where the learnings of this course really kind of kicked in for me. We've been taught how to kind of source, we've been taught how to stack, analyze, do our due diligence, our research, and this is where it kind of all these layers of education, they kind of, they peak. And in this case, this is where it clicked for me. Southall Avenue. So I get inquiries to clear people's properties, and this lead came through such an inquiry where a lady had lost her brother. She was dissolving his estate, and she needed to clear the property ready for sale. She'd had 2 estate agents around, They both valued it. She calls me up, can you come around and clear the property? I said, yeah, sure, that's fine, that's great. So I turn up, walk around, have a chat, provide the quote. Unfortunately, she says, sorry, but you're too expensive for our particular needs right now. And so that was the kind of end of the conversation. Whilst being in there, I could recognise everything, great opportunity, seller in pain, needs a quick sale. And I couldn't get the words out. It's like I'm there kind of selling a clearance service, and it's to try and transition the conversation across. So I went outside, sat in the car, cried a bit, as you do. And I'm thinking, I've just given X thousand pounds of this course, yeah? I've, driven up to Birmingham, we've sweated, we've learnt, I'm supposed to be educated by now. So I was thinking to myself, I'm not going to go home tonight and not sleep, because I know that what's going to happen next is that the lady's going to call the estate agent around, bang it on the market, and just get rid. So within an hour, I'd given her a call, kind of plucked up the coat, said, Maggie, she's a very nice lady. Maggie, yeah, it's me, it's the expensive clearance guy. You just kicked him out of the house, remember? And I said, I'd like to, I'm interested in your property. I understand you want a quick sale. Within 3 days, I'd done my due diligence. I'd sent a surveyor around, and we'd agreed a BMV price, sub 7% of market value for a quick sale. And for me, that was where all the lessons of self-sourcing, deal stacking, communication with the client, selling your credibility, and basically capturing an off-market deal from what would otherwise go onto the open market. It's what this course is about. It's It's the education that empowers capturing that. So that's where it kind of peaked for me. Just completed 2 weeks ago. Purchase price 265k, refurb 120. It's a full refurb with a 3-metre extension on the rear. 475 reval, 190 uplift. 75% capital recycled, so good recycling. Again, in Brighton, 6-bed, rents out 40k circa, with a 21k net profit and a 46% ROI. So this is my most proudest deal. These are the plans that we've got for the refurb. And again, we're just going to replicate, cookie cutter and also develop the interiors. But we're quite happy with the current format. So numbers for my year. I've raised £238,000 in private finance. 82k sold a piece of land through gaining planning on a rear garden of another property, my own, by the way. 30k saved through the use of LLPs to transfer personal assets to company. I would never have known how to kind of slide a personal asset into a company and save the stamp duty on two. That pays for my course twice over. Fantastic piece of a fantastic nugget. 350k equity across all projects once finished. I've got at least 16 new grey hairs. I have lost, that's the only figure where there's a 0 missing, I think. There's 100 plus hours of lost sleep. Total GDV 1.4 mil, and with a net annual profit per annum going forward, passive, because everything's managed, of £58.8 thousand. Very, very happy. It's amazing what can happen within 1 year, it really is. My next steps. So we've got the old Blackmobile going out with a direct vendor advertising. I'm really looking forward to going on to the Mastermind graduate course starting in October. We built our Tangerine's the property investment company, so I've got the branding and the website up for that, and we'll be pushing that out and the offering to our investors. I'm going to continue what I know doing, which is student HMOs and basically developing that product and pushing it further. I seek to strike a new area for young professional HMOs. I've found a local area, again, just using these strategies of commuter lines and concentrations of population and doing your research about rental values. I know where I'm going now and I know what I'm going to do there. So again, it's a confidence thing that this course teaches you. And then further on, going forward, I'm interested in doing commercial to residential conversions, larger projects. And I've got 2 off-market deals that I'm currently looking at the moment. Top tips for prospective masterminders and anybody seeking a future in property. This course is obviously lots of personal development, but you're expected to get out of your comfort zone. So my learning from this, discomfort is only temporary. Your new resilience is permanent. Embrace openness and generosity on the course. Progress comes from understanding your weaknesses as much as your strengths. That's the unique thing about this group. We're so open and we share our journey, the ups and the downs. And that's been one of the unexpected, unique items within this course. Mastermind can be get rich quick. It's demonstrated that lots of people have and do. But what it is definitely is get empowered quick. Information, education, confidence. It delivers that very quickly. Escape the rat race, work hard once, get paid forever, a classic line. Hard to believe from the outside. Once you're in, it's so obvious. And then find your passion and leave your legacy. I've yet to find my passion, to be quite honest with you. It's out there somewhere in a kind of ethereal sense, but we're getting there. And good luck on your journey, should you proceed. Finally, just want to say thank you very much, my forgiving fiancée, who's given lots of freedom for me to engage with this course. Thank you to Simon, obviously, for creating the unique environment. His team for building the infrastructure to deliver it. My coach, Paul Collier, Andy Haynes as well. my amazing buddies throughout the course have all just been, there and supportive and incredibly generous. And obviously all the fellow masterminders on the course whose journeys have been incredibly inspirational. So thank you very much indeed, and I wish you all the best on your journeys too.